Tonight on WTOL 11 News on Plus, people will once again be able to use an emergency assistance app in the Glass City, and Toledo Firefighters Local 92 is funding it. What new features will be on the app and who will be able to use it? And statistics for Toledo for crime in Toledo will be released tomorrow. What we expect to see based on our data and previous numbers released by the city.
We've had some snow. We get a little more snow into Thursday morning. Then beyond that, it's all going to be about this, the frigid Arctic chill. We've got 3 alert days next week, and we can be looking at some of the coldest weather that we've had in years. I'll preview how long it's going to last and how cold it's going to get. That's my 10-day forecast coming up.
Welcome into WTOL 11 News on Plus. I'm Kaylee Maritet. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday night. Let's take a look at your top stories. An update we brought you as breaking news last night. Police say a 16 and a 17-year-old were shot, and they are both thankfully expected to survive. Officers responded to the scene near the Toledo Sports Center on Star Avenue just before 5:30 last night. We're told the victims were shot inside a vehicle behind the building. Police found the victims at a Circle K gas station and were taken to the hospital. No word on any arrests. If you have information, you should call or text Crime Stoppers at 419-255-1111. Now, Toledo will reveal its fourth quarter crime statistics of 2024 tomorrow. Based on data from the city and from WTOL 11, 2024 is shaping up to be one of the safest years in a while. During the first quarter of the year, the city had a 16% drop in homicides, a 12% drop in auto thefts, a 5% drop in robberies, a 26% drop in thefts from a motor vehicle, and a 1% drop in persons shot. This is compared to the same time in 2023. As of October of 2024, the city had 27 homicides. At that same time the year prior, the city had 33 homicides. In previous years, like 2021, which still has the record for our deadliest year, we were past 50 homicides. We'll bring you the latest numbers from the city tomorrow on air, online, and on WTOL 11+. Well, Toledo community members will soon have access to an alert app they lost funding for last year. Pulse Point will be up and running within the next few weeks after Toledo Firefighters Local 92 has decided to fund it for a year. Megan Hartnett has this update.
The purpose of Pulse Point has changed over time.
Pulse Point originally started as a mobile app that allowed the community to respond in cases of cardiac arrest, person down, an unconscious person.
It still maintains that original intent, but an updated version now has more features to serve community members and first responders. Dan Evans, the Secretary-Treasurer of Local 92, says it allows first responders to be ready quicker for incidents like fires.
Our members really appreciate the mapping capabilities of it in case it's a redundancy. It allows us to, should a system go down, it's there for us.
It can show first responders hydrant locations and early notification for fires. The app has an AED registry to show where they are located in the community and updated features to show where Narcan and bleeding control kits can be found. After funding ended in August,
our members in November resoundingly voted to have us cover the cost for a year for the city of Toledo.
Evans says the union is working with Toledo City Council to try and get this funded by the city, but it is still in the early phases. For now, Local 92 is paying Pulse Point $10,500 for 1 year, an expense Evans says is worthwhile.
It's not a dispatch, but it allows us to get moving towards the rig, getting ready, getting our gear on. So it does give us a few extra seconds to get to a fire, and it's very helpful for that. I mean, fires rapidly grow, so it's good to get us there quicker.
That was Megan Hartnett reporting. It's been nearly 2 weeks since a family lost their home and possessions to a house fire. The family of 3 says they've been wearing the same clothes since their home burned down on Homer Avenue. While the family received support from the Red Cross, they say they're surviving off of cereal boxes and canned foods. Soon they'll be out of funds for their motel room.
I created a GoFundMe account, but I don't know if it's working. I don't know what I was doing. I'm new at this stuff, you know. But we only have short time here, and the room's expensive. But we've been in this room since we've been here, and we're trying to keep it.
Toledo Fire and Rescue tells us the fire started from a candle, but they're still investigating how the candle exactly started it. Toledo police are issuing a warning tonight about a scam going around targeting people using dating apps. Police say scammers are posing as TPD detectives and falsely claiming that there are criminal cases against the app user. They can then demand money to drop the charges. Toledo police say law enforcement agencies, including TPD, will never ask for money to dismiss criminal charges or cases. If you come across a scam like this, you should call police. The Supreme Court has less than a week to make a final ruling on the upcoming Tik Tok ban, leaving many with different opinions on whether the app should stay or go. Laura Sandlin takes a look at the benefits and the risks surrounding this social media platform.
It all began last year when President Joe Biden signed House Bill 7521 into legislation due to rising concerns from the government related to national security. The bill focuses on protecting Americans' data from foreign adversaries that own apps like TikTok and its parent company ByteDance.
If your data is stored, within United States, it is governed by U.S. laws, right? What we don't realize is that if our data is actually stored in a different country, for example, in China or India or Russia, for example, right? Then who really has control over that data?
Dr. Ahmed Javed works at the University of Toledo in the Computer Science and Engineering Department. His research focuses on cybersecurity. He says every day people's information is gathered online.
Not just phones, but let's say we are using tablets or computers. A lot of those devices, are collecting information about us.
While Dr. Javed says this information can pose a threat, Katie Peters, Director of Communications for Washington Local Schools, says she's seen apps like TikTok benefit her students.
As an educator, saw for years and years students coming into my classroom with information they would not have otherwise had. And not just information, about pop culture and celebrities, but things like current events and civic engagement.
Peter says she understands the fear, but also says as a consumer, she agrees to the risk in the terms and conditions, which includes her data.
As parents and as educators, we have a responsibility to educate and to monitor what that looks like. So I understand the fear, but I also don't know that banning something is going to prohibit the connection that kids are desiring.
Dr. Javed agrees, but says people should be aware.
But my perspective is, that as long as, we are able to ensure that these apps are storing, data within, U.S. soil, we should still, be pretty good. But again, there is still a concern, that what if, that data in some form is transmitted, outside the country.
The Supreme Court is set to make a decision by January 19th. However, if ByteDance sells TikTok, it could evade the ban. President-elect Donald Trump's lawyer says Trump plans to negotiate a resolution to save the platform while also addressing national security concerns. According to Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost's office, the sinkholes are near State Route 2 in Ottawa County. This comes after a lawsuit was filed on behalf of ODOT against the United States Gypsum Company. ODOT is looking to recover the nearly $17 million used to stabilize the road and prevent it from collapsing. Yost says the company's failure to uphold their responsibility has put Ohio's taxpayers in a multi-million-dollar hole. Chris?
Ready to talk that cold weather that's going to roll into the area? With that, some snow chances before we get to the end of the work week. Next snow chance is going to be Thursday morning. I'll time that out in a few moments, but I do want you to be prepared for this. Monday through Wednesday of next week, we have such high confidence that we're going to get some really cold air. Some of the coldest weather that we felt in perhaps several years will be possible, with highs only in the single digits. We'll have more on that in a few moments and how cold it's going to get and how long it's going to last, but some clearing skies right now after some snow is now tapered off. That snow now out of the picture. We're dropping back through the mid-teens. We're going to end up right around 10 degrees. Could get a few areas that do slip into the single digits before we begin to rebound as clouds will increase the rest of tonight. So tomorrow morning, some cloud cover into the area. That's going to break through mid-morning, and sunshine is going to be out into the afternoon. So mark my words, skies are going to brighten up as we get into Wednesday afternoon. Still, though, going to be a cold day. Highs just edge into the lower 20s. Next snow chance, we're going to time that out into Thursday morning. This is going to be before daybreak, right around 4 to 5 a.m. Snow is going to roll into the area. It is not going to be a ton of snow, but it may be timed just right to have some impacts to that morning drive and that morning bus stop commute. Light snow will continue to pick up through 6 to 7 a.m. Should be all across northwest Ohio and southern Michigan. Scattered snow showers, some pockets of moderate snow up to an inch of an accumulation by daybreak Thursday, and that will be just enough to create some very slippery travel conditions. That light snow will taper off to a few scattered snow showers into the afternoon. An additional half an inch of snow that will be possible. So next round of snow Thursday morning. And here's a look at how much we're expecting with the hour-by-hour forecast. I want to put the numbers in motion. It's around an inch of snow by daybreak. Then we may put an additional half an inch of snow on top of that into the afternoon. So an inch to an inch and a half of total snow is what we're going to be expecting for Thursday. But the big impact, we've got alert days out there for next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, starting January 20th through the 21st. Bitter cold. The last time we've had a high in the single digits, 4 degrees on January 31st of 2019. And we may be looking at single-digit highs next week. So that Arctic air is really going to entrench itself into the region coming in this weekend and early next week. And that Arctic blast will stick around Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday. And it begs the question I've heard many ask, is it really going to be too cold for us to snow? Technically, no, but the colder we have that Arctic air, it's going to push the more active storm track well south of us again across. Can you believe this again? The Gulf Coast may be fixed for another snowstorm into next week, where that cold air is going to be well to the south. A little moderation Thursday into Friday. Then we drop down with our alert days Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, where highs could only be in the single digits. Cold day tomorrow. Partly sunny skies into the afternoon. We do warm, though, mid-30s into Friday and Saturday. And there's our alert days kicking in early next week. Highs near 10 as we get into Monday. And then early next week stays very cold, 7 degrees, the high on Tuesday of next week. Kaylee, back over to you.
Thanks, Chris. Reminder, you only have a few weeks left to get your dog licensed for 2025. Having your license for your dog is the law. If you don't get a dog license by the 31st of this month, you can face a penalty fee of up to $25 per dog. There was a big celebration of a local author who made a huge impact on literature. The first Nancy Drew book was released 95 years ago, written by Millie Benson, who lived in Toledo and in fact worked for the Toledo Blade for decades. This weekend in Sylvania, kids can take part in detective activities and also win some prizes.
She put a lot of her personality into the personality of Nancy Drew. And at that time, when that character was developed, that was not the norm, in culture for women. So she was an icon and a role model for a lot of the girls.
After some activities, the movie Nancy and Drew and the Hidden Staircase will be shown. For more information, you can visit WTOL.com. Car lovers, get ready. The Toledo Auto Show is coming up. The show will return to the Glass City Center on January 31st. The show will feature all kinds of cool cars from more than 20 manufacturers. Plus, you can get a look at the future of technology in the automotive world. The Toledo Auto Show will feature a photo scavenger hunt and a kids zone this year. The show runs until February 2nd. Speaking of auto shows, you still have time to go and see the Detroit Auto Show. There are lots of unique cars on display, including some ones from famous movies. The Detroit Auto Show offers something for everyone. The show is going on right now until January 20th in downtown Detroit at the Huntington Place, which is ending next Monday. People in Michigan have the chance to show their artistic side while showing their Detroit Lions pride. Governor Gretchen Whitmer has launched a statewide Detroit Lions logo drawing contest in hopes of showing the team that Michigan has their back as they enter the playoffs. During the 2024 NFL Draft in Detroit, Whitmer created her own design of the logo, and now she wants all Michiganders to have the same opportunity. We have a link in the links mentioned of WTOL.com where you can submit your drawing. You could be featured on the governor's Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Now, speaking of football, there are 6 days left until the national title game. Ohio State will face the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. The Buckeyes